House Bill HB 2039, elections, hand count, 5%. This bill is being introduced by Representative Griffin, and it will be in the House Government and Elections Committee on Tuesday. And basically what this bill does, it does a couple of things, but the most important part of it, as far as I'm concerned, is that it would increase from 2% to 5% the portion of the precincts that need to be used for a hand count, if there is going to be a hand count of votes. It is one of the many bills that we anticipate will be introduced regarding election reform. We have a companion bill in the Senate, which would be Bill SB 1010, and we will be talking about that bill in the future as well, and it'll be available for you people to view. They're almost identical. There's a little bit of a difference, and Arch is going to get into that in just a minute. But the main thing here is that we increase the amount of precincts that are involved when there is a hand count, which means it would be a more accurate count. So on the basis of that, we think that it is a good bill. One thing that I don't like about it, but there's not much that we can do, so no big deal, and that is that it will consider, even though it says precincts, it will assume or consider a voting site as a precinct. And I have always been of the impression that we should go back to voting by precinct, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. So as long as it's not going to happen anytime soon, we might as well consider the voting site as a precinct for the purposes of this bill. So I would not object to that on that basis. So, but you do have a couple other things you wanted to mention about this, Archie.
Yeah, this is an amendment of Title 16602. And under the Arizona Revised Statutes, there are certain elections, whether primary elections or general elections, that depending upon the vote count in those elections are subject to a hand recount. And the bills now provide that those hand recounts are either 5%. Okay, it changes. It was 2% of the votes counting, or 2% of the precincts, and this changes it from 2% to 5%.
Well, that's what I said.
I understand that's what you said,
okay.
But I'm going to add to that a little bit. We're currently undergoing nationwide a challenge to the votes on our general election concerning the president and the allegations of fraud and whether or not we can trust the results of our election. When you increase the number of votes that are going to be hand counted and to be verified, that in truth and fact our tabulation machines are correct in how they're tabulating these, then it can only add to the trust that you can place in our elections. And from that standpoint, I totally agree that this is a good bill just because it increases the hand count. And then I'll get into the Senate Bill 1010 in just a few minutes, because it contains a little bit of extra provisions. But this bill is a worthy bill for your consideration. I would suggest again that you read this bill and understand what it does and what it does not do. So.
Yes, it will be in the House Government and Elections Committee on the 20th, which will be Tuesday, and we definitely have a yes, vote yes recommendation for this bill.
One other thing, and I just noted it here in my notes.
I thought I was done.
Well, I mean, you probably are.
Oh, but you're not.
But I'm not.
Oh, okay.
I've got one other thing.
All right.
If you go to in Section A on page 2,
Of the bill.
Of the bill, yes. Yes.
They will have to read the bill to me.
Well, you know, they can also read my mind.
Oh, okay, okay.
So if you go to Section A, page 2, Section A3 on page 2, you should need to note that this bill, that the bill provides for, as it currently exists, provides for 2% of the polling places to be hand counted in presidential elections. This bill does not touch that provision, and it leaves it. So at only 2% of the polling places will be subject to hand count on presidential elections. And that would not affect anything that's going on currently with our current brouhaha that's going on with our elections.
Well, that is significant. I didn't know that,
yeah.
even though I did read the bill, by the way. It could be that it is being a federal election that they don't want to mess with it. Could that be the reason why it doesn't apply to a president?
No, I think it's just an oversight by the individuals that are introducing the bill, and I think it's an oversight by our legislative council. I think they just, you know, I don't think they discussed this to see what was intended by the legislation, and so they just overlooked it.
I would call them and tell them, but they don't listen to me, so
Yeah.
what can I do?
Yeah.
So anyway, it is still a good bill. Please express your opinion of supporting this bill.